Most interesting thing for me, and also it's my dream. If you follow straight southerly, you will end up in Antarctica. Antarctica is also in my bucket list. If I can save that much money, one day I'll be going Antarctica because it's the only continent that I haven't been.
Antarctica, a land of stunning icebergs, playful penguins, and endless adventure. It is the coldest, driest, and windiest continent on Earth. It holds about 70% of the world's fresh water in its ice. It's a continent without a native human population and no time zones. Land where you can experience 24 hours of daylight and 24 hours of darkness. My journey began in Houston. I boarded a plane to Buenos Aires, where I spent a few days before traveling to Ushuaia. Ushuaia is a seaport from where we will embark on a cruise ship to Antarctica. The journey will take 2 days to reach our destination. We chose an excellent ocean cruise line from Portugal, Atlas Ocean Voyages. They have just 3 ships, and each ship can accommodate around 150 passengers, which makes the environment so cozy because in a few days you may get to know most of the guests and become friends with them. Also, such small ships are very flexible in the Antarctic Ocean. They can reach many more places and perform the landing there. Our expedition takes 9 days in total, with 4 days in Antarctica. In our trip, we will reach only Antarctic Peninsula, which is the warmest place in Antarctica. Departure day was set on 24th of February on this ship called World Traveler. However, something unpredictable happened to our ship. There was a technical issue that had to be fixed, so we had to wait and no one knew how long it might take. While waiting, let's explore the ship.
Now I would like to talk a little bit about the room types. Actually, it's called stateroom. There are 3 types of staterooms here in this ship. The one that with balconies, the one that without balconies, and the suites. So the one that I got is with the balcony is on the deck 6. So basically when you enter the ship is from deck 4, and deck 4 is dedicated for the bars, gym, spa, and the restaurants. There's all there. The rooms without balconies, they're on deck 3. So basically you need to go down once you enter the ship. So it is not that good for me because the rooms are a little bit smaller. They don't have balcony. For me it's more depressive. That's why I chose a room with the balcony, and I was lucky I got on the deck 6. So it's the higher on this ship, so I have a better view. That's nice, but don't forget it's all about the price. It's a little bit more expensive when you want to have a room with a balcony, so you can decide what kind of room types, stateroom types you would like to go. It's an expedition ship, but this is also like all-inclusive hotels, very luxury format that you can see, because they're like 24 hours room service. Is all included in the price. You can order whatever you would like to have. You can drink anything you want, and you can order those in 24 hours. There are espresso machines in the rooms, and you can have coffee there, or if you would like to have a cappuccino or latte, you can order those from the room service as well. Rooms are really nice, to be honest. You feel like you're not in the ship, but you feel like you're in the hotel room. You feel the luxury in the room. I must say that the rooms are a little bit smaller than the normal hotel size rooms, right? But I must say that still is more than enough for 2 people. The showers, restrooms, they're really great because they're not tight. When I see in the trains, in the ships, normally they're smaller, right? But here in this room, everything is okay, so you can stay in this room even 20-25 days without any problem. And the materials that they use in the ship, in the room especially, is luxury. You feel it, the mattresses, the TVs, the mini bar. Let's talk about the equipments. In the room you're provided a binocular, so while cruising you can spot the wildlife, and if you want to buy this you can pay $175 and you can keep it with you. And they provide you the thermoses so that throughout the expeditions you can use it to drink the water, and you can fill this up throughout the refill points, so you can have your water with you. And they also have nice bottles here. They keep refilling your bottles in the room, and they're cleaning the rooms twice a day.
There's a gym, spa, sauna, jacuzzi, tool lounges, restaurant, walking track and auditorium for lectures and briefings. Throughout the cruise, every day there are some activities not to feel bored though. 24-hour bar service, room service, snacks, sandwiches, pastries are available for guests as well. You may wonder, how about internet on board? Luckily, they provide 1 GB of free internet by Starlink, and if you run out of data, you may purchase more. But I gotta say, it's so expensive. For example, additional 1 GB costs $80. It's a lot of money. Within 2 days of waiting for our departure, we discovered the Ushuaia city, tried all the food and drinks on the ship, and entertained ourselves as much as we could. Finally, after tough negotiations, we were offered to be transferred to another ship called World Voyager. And after 3 days in total of staying in the port, we sailed away on the new ship with the new crew members and the new passengers. This ship is the same as the first one, but with the minor interior differences. We have 2 days ahead in Drake Passage, where the sea could be very rough. However, we were very lucky. The waves were calm, just 3 to 5 meters high. But at the first day at sea, I had to get used to the motion. The sea sickness makes you feel dizzy, sleepy, you may lose your balance sometimes, but overall it was bearable. While cruising, we were offered multiple activities such as visiting the captain's bridge and talk to captains. I had so many questions to ask about how to navigate the ship, what system do they use, etc.
I just came out of the bridge. To be honest, I was expecting something more sophisticated. I was shocked to see that primitive system compared to airplanes. For instance, they are now keeping the heading, and they need to adjust the heading based on the wind so that they can keep the track. Don't get me wrong, they said that they have these systems, but they're not using it. This is something that we're all the time using in the plane, lateral navigation from point to point. And also right now, we're in the middle of Drake Passage. There was one guy just watching the horizon, and I asked them, what's the purpose of this guy in the ship? And he said that he's just trying to spot icebergs or whales. So if we even see a whale, we have to change our course. I was shocked. Wave is a very fast animal compared to a ship, right? I mean, most probably he's not gonna hit the ship, but they said that we have to change the course. I didn't know that the animals have priorities over the ships, so that's what they told us. And in Antarctica, to cruise to Antarctica, the animals have priorities. So that was very interesting information to me, because I would never imagine a whale will just come and hit the ship, so they will just move away as you get closer. But I see there are one main control unit, and each side there are other control units, and they're using that to park the ship as you get closer to the harbor, and then that's how they park the ship. So they transfer the controls from one unit to another one, and they're smaller than the main ones. And I also recognize there's one rudder, and literally the same function as the plane, have. So that's also a great thing to see. There are lots of similarities in the planes and the ships. It's same as the airlines. The ranks are more or less the same. You have a captain, you have a first officer, then the second officers. Now we eliminated the second officers for the most of the airlines. There are only a few selected airlines that have second officers for wide-body fleet. But apart from that, the main differences in the airline world, captains are actively flying and managing at the same time. But here in the ship world, they are more or less the managers, and they don't actively, I don't know how to say, use the ship, drive the ship. So basically there are some positions to be able to fulfill these requirements, but the captain manages everyone. And I asked the captain, are you ever on controls? He said, yeah, in the challenging environments or while docking in, I sometimes, if it requires quite extensive knowledge or skill set, then I'm using it. But most of the time, he's not on controls.
Almost 48 hours after we departed, we spotted the first iceberg. There was an iceberg contest for guests. You win a prize if you can guess the approximate time when the first iceberg is spotted from the captain's bridge. Unfortunately, I couldn't guess it. It was so unique to see icebergs on our way. When we met the first one, everyone took many photos and videos of the lonely iceberg. But then, in less than 24 hours, we saw them everywhere on our way. So it didn't seem like something extraordinary anymore. This is an example of how fast a human's mind adapts to the environment. Just look at this giant flat chunk of iceberg. It reminds me of the wall from Game of Thrones.
Okay, some changes in our plan. Now we are in a larger room in a different ship. As I mentioned before, they have changed the ship for us. We are in a larger room, almost 30 meters square, and the room is really great because it's a great living area. Unfortunately, we don't have balcony, but this thing over there turns into Juliet balcony, which helps me a lot because now you feel like you have a balcony and you have a larger room. Actually, this room was a little bit higher price than the initial price that we paid for the balcony, but right now I feel like this is much better option. At the beginning of the cruising, I thought that I wish I had a balcony, but then I thought that eventually I'm not gonna use the balcony as efficient as possible because it's cold. Right now it's just like 1 degree outside, and it's gonna be even colder as we get more to the south. So this is a great deal. When we want some fresh air, we just put all these windows down, then it turns into a giant balcony. That's awesome. And in room, as I told you, it's a great room. It's just like as big as a hotel size rooms, right? That's why it's a great thing. So shower is also amazing. It's just walk-in shower room is there, and it also has some jets behind you, so you feel like you're in the jacuzzi. That's also a great thing. On top of that, we have full mini bar available to us all the time, and they keep refreshing all the time, twice a day. And if you need something else, you can order from the room service menu 24 hours. That's also another thing. I love breakfast a lot, and here they have all day long breakfast, which is great at the same time. So basically, if you miss the breakfast, you can order your breakfast to your room anytime you want. And they also provide a great service with that, because you can just mark the whatever you would like to have, and they deliver it in 30 minutes. I tried their burgers as well from room service. That's also a great thing. Yeah, I love eating, therefore I would like to try everything in the menu. So especially dinner is an a la carte, and their starters are too small, but it's a good thing for me because I'm trying everything, and I'm trying to taste each wine from the menu as well. As you know, when you eat a lot, then there's no way that you can avoid getting some weight, right? There's a running track on the deck 7, so today I went up, I start walking. So I walk almost 10 miles to keep myself in shape. So speaking about the direct passage, we are so lucky. It's already 48 hours passed since our sailing away from the port from the Ushuaia, and we only had 3 to 4 meters of waves. And our captain told us normally in a normal day we say it's okay if we have 6 to 7 meters. Time to time these places literally have 10 to 20 meters of waves, so it's sometimes really challenging. Up to now everything is going so perfect, and we also saw our first icebergs literally 3 hours ago, and now all we can see different chunks of icebergs as well. We are expecting to do our first Zodiac cruise tomorrow in the morning, so today we are gonna go and check which Zodiac group that we are in, and also we registered ourselves for the kayaking in Antarctica as well. So total we are gonna spend 4 days in Antarctica, and each day we will have 2 landings. So basically we can have either Zodiac or landing to the continent of Antarctica.
This is it, guys. We finally made it to our first stop, Sierra Cove. It's a protected area, the landings are not allowed there, so we could enjoy its beauty from the Zodiacs. Speaking of Zodiacs, it's a fast boat that could fit up to 15 people. For smooth operation, all guests are divided into a few groups, and each group gets into Zodiac at a specific time. There are around 12 to 15 Zodiacs on this cruise ship, and it's operated by a trained Zodiac driver. As you can see, the weather wasn't so clear, and it was around 0 degrees Celsius. It was such a magnificent view and great feeling to be here. At the first Zodiac cruise, we spotted magnificent ice. They say it might be around 1000 years old. By the way, I even tested chunk of ice from water. What do you think? Was it salty or not? Write down in comments, please. There we spotted penguins and seals, and we witnessed incredible scene. A leopard seal was eating a penguin. Just look at this. This leopard seal just threw the penguin up in the air.
So that's a really big leopard seal, possibly a female.
Some of the videos were taken by our fellow travelers. Unfortunately, you must be lucky to spot animals that close. Sometimes you have to be in the right place at the right time. Leopard seals are incredible. We saw them a lot throughout the journey. Just look at him. He was trying to bite our Zodiac, but he has no chance. The Zodiac material is pretty strong.
Here we are in Antarctica, and here is my last continent in the world that I haven't stepped in yet. I'm super excited. This is day first, and in the morning we got a Zodiac tour that was amazing. We observed penguins and seals, and we have seen even some whales. That was an amazing experience. I haven't stepped in the continent yet, but I'm super excited, and I achieved my goal. I told myself that I would like to step in each continent in the world before I turn in 35, right? So I'm super happy that I'm achieving this goal.
The next stop is Michelson Harbor and our first landing. Now I officially stepped into Antarctic land. However, This land was completely covered with penguins' poop called guano. You can imagine the smell. On this island, we can closely see again two colonies of penguins. They are cute, but sometimes could be too loud. Before landing, the crew told us we shouldn't come close to penguins. The minimal distance should be 5 meters, and of course, we cannot touch or disturb them. The main objective of this expedition is to keep Antarctica pristine. We can't leave anything behind. Moreover, all guests must present the clothing they will be wearing ashore for cleaning of all foreign particulates. Apart from penguins, we found whale bones, which was incredible. The temperature was 1 degree Celsius, so the snow was a bit mushy and mixed with guano. As you can imagine, it's not the best mixture, but I was trying not to think about it. All our landings last around 1 hour, and we have to clean our boots after each landing because of dirt and guano. On the ship, there's an automated cleaning brush like a portable car wash, but for boots.
Here I am in my 7th continent, Antarctica. As I promised to myself, I am now completing the 7th continent of the world before turning to 35. I'm super happy.
Dinner is really one of the best times of the day. By the way, they even gave guests a galley tour and explained how everything works there. The galley is small and the guys work so hard to serve high-class food for us.
All right. Starter number 1. Starter number 2. And this one is the cameraman is eating starter number 3. Yeah, so basically we have open buffet breakfast and also room service breakfast. You can order breakfast anytime, even 1 p.m., 2 p.m., 3 p.m., anytime to your room. Lunch is open buffet, but you also have live cooking there. Dinner is a la carte format, which is my favorite. It's literally fine dining. There are multiple wine options that also I'm trying to drink each of them throughout this cruise. And I'm marking them. Most probably I tried more than 15 wines until now, and still there are a couple of them that I've never tried yet. So basically, in a la carte restaurant, you can order anything you want. You know, you can order 2 or 3 main courses if you can eat it. So everything is included in the price. I must say that the breakfast, lunch, and dinner are really good. I really like it. And the most importantly, there are choices for everyone. If you're a vegan, you can find a vegan menu. And there's a fish, chicken, beef, lamb, seafood, salads. You can find literally everything here.
The next morning, we cruised through the Le Maire Channel, a popular tourist spot. It's just 11 kilometers long and the narrowest place is 600 meters wide. Since it's too narrow, each ship has to wait its turn to pass through it. They even slowed down the ship to allow the guests to spot a seal chilling on an iceberg after his dinner. Just look at this shot. Once we passed the channel, we reached Planeux Island. It's a calm place, also known as an iceberg graveyard, because icebergs of all shapes and sizes move around, bump together and get stuck. It's the perfect place to go kayaking. The kayak ride takes about 2 hours and is done in small groups. It's a bit pricey, $200 per person, but definitely it's worth it. Before joining a kayaker group, you have to pass the physical test. Because you must hop on from a Zodiac to a kayak and it's unstable, you must listen to what crew members tell you not to fall and be safe. They gave us a one-piece waterproof suits for kayaking. By the end, you may feel cold and tired because of constant paddling. There, we spotted Gentoo penguins and we saw one penguin plunging. Speaking of plunge, the day was so clear and amazing. There was no landing today, so crew decided to do something really fun.
Now it is time for plunging to the cold ocean. Yeah, it is 0 degrees Celsius and I'm waiting to be cold for the polar plunge. Let me give you some little example of what should we expect. As you can see, now they call us Group B. I'm Group B, so I'm gonna go down and perform the polar plunge. It's gonna be the coldest plunge that I will be ever doing. Let's get started.
Polar plunge is free for guests and that's your responsibility. You have to evaluate yourself. If you have health issues, you are not advised to do that. Before plunging, you have to sign a waiver just in case there's a doctor if you don't feel alright after the plunge. Out of 153 guests, 94 participated, which is many brave people. For safety, they put a belt on you and connect you with a rope in case of an emergency. Once you complete the plunge, you must come out on your own as soon as possible. They won't drag you unless it's needed. Once you come out of the water, the crew will give you your diving scores. I got 10, 9, 9. I guess I did great. Once you come out, you're offered a vodka shot for warming your body. But guys, I must say, it was one of the most remarkable moments of my life. You plunged in Antarctica. If you ever had a chance to do so, please don't skip it. Otherwise, you will regret it. And here is my photo. Yes, the water is freezing, it's around 0 degrees Celsius and the air temperature is also around 0 degrees. But it is so energizing and you immediately get an adrenaline rush. After that, jumping into a hot pool is just the perfect place to chill and warm yourself. What a great day!
Okay, here I am on the 7th continent of the world, Antarctica, and this is continental Antarctica. Previously we stepped up on the island, but that was not in the continental Antarctica. As you can see, our ship is there, and here, and we hiked up 100 meters, like 330 feet above ground level, and this is the edge and this is cliff. The path was very steep, but we made it. And the thing is that I'm really surprised. The penguins are all around. It's like 100 meters above and they climb up and they're flightless, right? So they're just walking like us, and I don't know how do they keep their balance. And all you can see there, as you can see the brownish color, they're the poop. So basically that's how they are marking their highways. As you can see, guys, our penguins. You know, you see the virgin continent that has not been destroyed by the humanity, and you can see that animals are living here peacefully. So I'm quite amazed. It's my first time in Antarctica, but I truly believe that it's not gonna be the last. Now I set myself another challenge, because right now we are in the Antarctic Peninsula. One day I would like to go to South Pole. As you all know that I flew over the North Pole, 90 North. Now it is time for me to go to South Pole. It's gonna take some more time to achieve this goal, but eventually I strongly believe that I'll make it, because now I'm not into like a typical touristic vacations. I would like to go some extreme stuff that, you know, for me to tick the box. I'm super lucky. As a pilot, I traveled more than 100 different countries, and also this is my 7th continent, and I can easily say that the discovering world now is my new passion, because you get to know the different kind of cultures, cuisines, animals. You see the wildlife. When I see here a seal is hunting for penguin, and then when we see the whales, you see real wildlife here. That truly amazes me, because we're not living in wildlife, right? We are just enjoying our life, and pretty much everything is easy. But when you see the wildlife, I'm not talking about only animals, but when sometimes you go some deep in the forest, like I was in Amazon, then I see the people, how they're surviving in wild. So that truly amazed me, and that, you know, made me think like, wow, we have a very easy life. Those people are really living in a very challenging conditions. So that's why that pursued me to, you know, discover the world more and more, so that I can get to know many cultures. You can see all these people are doing zigzags to climb up, and there are actually 2 zodiacs, and our ship is there. So basically what we are trying to do, they're trying to do 2 landings or zodiac tours per day. Yesterday was a great day, no wind, so we did the polar plunge. That was awesome. I really liked the polar plunge, and it was really refreshing. And today we are gonna do 2 landings. So landings means you're gonna go to either on continent or on an island in Antarctica, and then, you know, you can discover. Today we started with this nice mountain, not mountain, like a little peak here, 100 meters hike up, but that was really refreshing, and the weather is here is so clear. You can feel the oxygen, you know. It's not like living in the city center, so it is so nice. Penguin poops are everywhere, so it's easy to understand if the path is brownish. So these penguins are pooping, and then they're just walking on it, so they're marking the highways, but it smells disgusting. As I go down, new group is going up. Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, it takes some time, because now there's a traffic jam in our path. It's something like penguin highways. We have to give way to each other. Oh, what's that?
Penguins.
Penguin
Remainings.
remainings. Wow. Oops. And you can see the crew is just, you know, digging and trying to help us. Oh, now you are an architect.
Come on, man. Many talents.
Architect, tour guide. Yeah.
Driver,
Awesome,
photographer, zodiac driver. Morning.
Good morning. Yeah. The beautiful part of having a small ship, everyone knows each other now after a couple of days, and it's really great. People are helping each other, you know. You feel like it's a very friendly environment. So that's why when you come to Antarctica with a small ship, and you get to know everyone and you create a friendship. Now I'm setting up new goal for myself to go to South Pole one day. I was in North Pole. Actually, I was over the North Pole, 90 North, but now it's time to discover the South Pole. I'm super happy to be here, and I wish I could have done this thing much earlier. the way on top as well, you see them?
You can't see them, you can see their poop. Right?
Next stop on our way is Useful Island. This island is called Useful, and there is one there. The name is Useless. So basically, there's a story behind of this island. And during 70s, I believe, people were coming here to spot the whales. So basically, here, as you can see, on the top of the hill, they say that you have 360 view, unobstructed view, so you can spot the whales, and then you can let the ships know where the whales are. But now it's forbidden to hunt the whales, therefore, this island no longer is used. And in this island I already saw the bones of the whales. Here I am on top of the Useful Island. I will show you the view. You can have 360 view here, and this thing over there is showing Arma de Argentina, and this is the last stop for today. We have only 1 hour, and as you can see, people are here hiking down, and then over there are Zodiacs, and the ship is somewhere around there. So basically, this is a nice hiking, and you can see 360 view.
Useful Island was full of penguins again. At this point, you treat this as a normal environment since they're everywhere. By now, we have met only 2 species of penguins, Gentoo and Chinstrap. There are around 18 species of penguins living in Antarctica, including the emperor penguin, the biggest and the heaviest one. I must return to Antarctica one day to see those guys in their natural habitat. On the way back to our ship, we encountered seals. They're so playful creatures. One of them was following our Zodiac. He was probably attracted to the propeller's movement. Just look at this group of seals. By the way, you may see a wrecked ship at the back. The wreckage happened 100 years ago and was caused by a fire. Luckily, all sailors survived. Very unique scene to see in Antarctica.
How to dress up in Antarctica 101. Unlike what you thought, the weather in Antarctica actually is not that cold, guys. The average winter in New York, Boston, Chicago, or Frankfurt, or eastern part of Turkey is much colder than the Antarctica. So don't forget, we are here in the summertime. So most of the time the temperature was around 0 to 1 degrees, maybe -1 to 2 degrees. So it is not that cold, but still you need to be protected, right? So I will describe what did I wear throughout my expedition in Antarctica. As you can see now, I have a base layer, and those things are like, from my military duty in Turkey, and then I have my base layer, and this is the basic thing. So my main concern was the bottom, right? Because you are sitting on Zodiac and splashes are coming to you, and that's the real cold that you are feeling on the wet surface. So you need to protect your bottom. Here I am. Second layer, as you can see, I just had one sports pants. Third layer, waterproof pants, and this is very thin, very thin. I chose this on purpose because I already have
two layers here. I didn't want to have very thick snow pants with me. This is waterproof, that's all I need. So basically, once you have this, you're good to go. 3 layers. Waterproof layer is the most important thing, guys, because you need to protect yourself from the water. And once you are walking, you don't feel cold, right? Because you're protected by 3 layers. But you need to prepare yourself for the Zodiacs. And that being said, you should bring your own waterproof pants because in the ship it is really expensive. I saw a pant like $444. It is extremely expensive. Here's my second layer. North Face top. This is more than enough for me. I didn't choose any thermal layer in between because I don't need one. This is the most important thing, parka. You're provided with a parka. It's included in the price. You can keep it or you can leave it, but definitely I will keep it. This is really great. Reflective green, so easy to spot you on the white continent, so that's nice. And when you remove this, as you can see, it's a vest. Very thin layer. You can remove the hood, and also there are nice zippers around, so you can put your room key here, because in the cruise ships these room keys are at the same time your identity. Here most of the time I was putting my identity and room key here, so you guys, you know, good to go, because they need to check out and check in all the time when you leave the ship. So there's also another nice feature of this jacket, parka. So guys, you can use this as a backpack, because when the weather goes really warm, you can take it off, wear it like this, and yeah. And if it gets really cold, what you can do is you can wear parka, and then you are fully protected from splashes and wind itself. So basically that was my setup, the large size, and as you can see, you can extend these sleeves and you can wear your gloves on it, so you will have full protection. Speaking of gloves, I definitely recommend you some kinda waterproof gloves. It's better for you, because if you fall down while you're walking icy, slippery ground, so it's the first thing that you would like to land on, right? And if it gets wet, good luck for the next hour, because your fingers will be freezing. Good to go. And I was using 2 layers of socks as well, because they provide you a boot. It's waterproof, but still is cold, you feel it. So I highly recommend you to wear at least 2 socks, one normal winter and one thick for the snowy, icy conditions that protect your feet. This hat, wouldn't believe that it's gonna go to Antarctica. I just realized that I forgot to put my winter hat in my bag, so I bought it very last moment from Ross Dress for Less. It's just like $7 hat, but it helped me a lot, so I'm super happy that I had it. So just like a regular normal hat, you don't need to have extra fancy winter hats. And after that, don't forget, you also have a hood and you can cover yourself. But there's still one thing that I want to mention, because you know, you put your head, you cover yourself with hood. The problem in the Zodiac, the wind, right? Sometimes winds were reaching 50-55 knots, and it is really difficult, especially when you're cruising with the Zodiac, because of the wind. You feel the cold and it is so difficult. Therefore, I highly recommend you to get one neck gaiter. So those things are for multi-purposes. You can use them as a hat, and you can use them as a neck protector. As you can see, that's how I was protecting myself. And you can cover up until this point with the head and hood. I always carry this backpack with me throughout my journey all around the world, and I brought that to Antarctica as well. But the problem is, it is not waterproof, right? You should be careful about it. I strongly recommend you to bring something waterproof. And I had my water bottle
So you're also provided with that. But to be honest, I always carried it and I didn't even use once because it's too cold. I didn't want to take my gloves and everything, change it and cover, open the lid, drink it. So I didn't need it. I could stay as it is without drinking, right? And then here I got my sunglasses. That's really important thing to bring sunglasses, especially summertime, reflective white, you know, snow all around. So you need to have a sunglasses. That's also nice to protect your phone. I know the pictures are not great throughout this plastic, but what you can do, you can just wear it and then put the phone until here, then take a picture. At least you have something to protect your phone while you're in Zodiac. That's how I dressed up throughout my Zodiac tours and landings in Antarctica. The last but not least, the boots are provided for you, and in the ship you can have your sneakers with you. It's very casual environment, like, you know, whatever you prefer to wear you can bring with you, so on the ship you can use them. This is the sunscreen SPF 50 and lip balm that I brought. And also what else you can bring? You can bring maybe flip-flops with you if you want to use jacuzzi, hot tub, pool. That's also useful. Or alternatively, you can go there with them, you know, you're provided with them. But you need to check your cruise because maybe some of the cruises, they don't provide you paper slippers. And also bring some kind of pills if you don't trust yourself when it comes to motion sickness. Some people have patches here. I don't know if it is really helpful or not, but I didn't get it. So basically maybe you can have some pills just in case for motion sickness. I'm trying to avoid using them. Until now, I just take it 2 times, but don't forget those pills made me really sleepy. So it's up to you guys. Definitely nice to have some pills just in case. Even if you get your preparations done and you got motion sickness, right? There are some suggestions. First of all, try to avoid drinking alcohol and coffee a lot. And also stay hydrated all the time, drink water, and also don't stay hungry, eat something, and don't forget these cruises are most of them all you can eat, right? Don't exaggerate eating, but don't stay hungry as well, and take some rest. Try to get quick naps. So those are the recommendations done by cruise staff. So basically that's what I've done. So if when I get motion sickness, then after a couple of hours I was good. And the most important thing, right? Don't forget to bring swimming suit with you guys, because this cruises provides you free polar plunge, so you have a chance to plunge to the freezing cold water. This is a lifetime opportunity for you. Therefore, you need to pack a swimming suit with you. This is our last day in Antarctica. Actually, this is our last landing to the continental Antarctica. It's a great experience. Now I'm in Portal Point. People were using this point as a starting point for their journey to the South Pole. Yeah, all these ships, utilities, like, you know, food, preparations, ships were coming here. And then from that point, they were taking the Huskies and going all the way down south to South Pole. Weather is cloudy, ceilings are low, but the weather is not that cold at all. I don't even wear my gloves right now because it's not that cold at all. And plus this parka is really thick and there are 2 layers in it. It makes you feel warm. Yeah, head change. So we have 1 hour 20 minutes here and you can have 360 degrees view. The most beautiful scenery I've ever seen in Antarctica is here, because you can spot literally hundreds of whales. Their babies are with them and they're just feeding algae, and you can see them. It is really great. It's really peaceful. And You know, it is so quiet. You can even hear the birds, and you can even hear the sounds that whales are making while they're breathing. That's really great.
Throughout our journey, just a few times we could spot the whales, and most of the time from very far away. As I said, you gotta be lucky and you gotta be at the right place at the right time. Those creatures are not easy to spot. Even if we did, I couldn't catch them on camera. But I've got some incredible shots of whales I took within those 4 days. Those whales are called humpback whales. Just look at these incredible shots done by one of our expedition crew. There's an interesting thing about spotting whales. Every whale is unique and they are recognizable by unique patterns and shapes on their tails. If you take a high quality photo of a whale tail, you may submit it on a website called happywhale.com to identify this whale and see his migration. And if you don't find the whale there, it means you contribute to scientist community. They may even name this whale after you. Such a great thing, huh?
So basically, the operations from ship to continent is two-folded. First, you are disembarking to a Zodiac boat, and then maybe it takes like 10 to 15 minutes to reach the continent, and expedition team just marks the road and tracking places for you, so you're not allowed to move beyond these limits for a couple of safety reasons, or alternatively in order not to disturb the wildlife here. And after that, they're giving you some time, such as like 1 hour, 30 minutes, so you can discover. But you're very limited on where you're gonna go. It's a good challenging activities, such as you're climbing. As of now, what I'm doing, I'm climbing on top of a hill here, which is approximately 100 meters, but it is very slippery and at the same time icy, so you need to pay attention how you're climbing up. Similarly, climbing down is even more challenging under icy and slippery conditions. Nowadays everything is just commercialized, so it is really easy to go wherever you would like to have. Even if with zero experiences, you can climb to Mount Everest and you can go to summit with a short training. Similarly, you can go to South Pole. I'm not talking about taking a plane and landing. I'm talking about just, crossing whole continent towards the south and then reach the South Pole. Those are very commercialized, and if you pay like $15,000 to $20,000, that's easily you can make it. I don't know if it is good or not, but at least there is now opportunity for those that would like to experience the best places on Earth, very isolated places. Wow, that was an awesome vacation. Now we are sailing back to Ushuaia. We are on Drake Passage. It's a rough sea. It wasn't like this in the beginning of our journey. Sometimes the waves are reaching like 7-8 meters and it's strong winds, so most people got seasick, and I must admit that it's not an easy trip back to Ushuaia.
At some point, I couldn't even sleep at night. I was rolling on the bed and some stuff was falling in the room. Luckily, we went through this successfully. You can see that I struggled to walk straight. A couple of more things to mention about our cruise. Every day there was a tea time with some delicious desserts accompanied by a piano so you could chill. They prepared some interesting lectures for us. We even attended a talent show among crew members, a mixology contest, and many more. And finally, with our fellow travelers, we tried to do World Antarctica. I think we sort of made it. I was trying to make letter C. So those 2 days weren't boring at all. During our cruise, we were marking wildlife we encountered. As you can see, there was many. Someone even spotted orca, called killer whale. It's very difficult to talk about the price because it depends on too many factors. Most of the time, ships offer all-inclusive stay during your journey to Antarctica, but you need to pay some extra if you are willing to do kayaking or camping on the continent of Antarctica. That being said, I would recommend you to book your vacation very last moment so you can get some discount. And also I would like to say that the price includes return ticket to Ushuaia and 1 night stay in a 5-star hotel. Don't forget, you need to pay a ticket to come to Buenos Aires from wherever you are. You can check the Atlas Ocean Voyages website and monitor special promotion there.
Guys, I must say that this is a great journey. I'm so happy that I did this and I ticked the box for my 7th continent. That was an awesome thing, and they told us that only 0.0001% of entire population of the earth is traveling to Antarctica, and only 0.00001% are doing the polar plunge, and I did them both.
If it is your dream, you can work hard and definitely can make it. Most of the guests on our cruise ship have their own stories of why they were going to Antarctica. For example, some worked hard and could afford it only after retirement. For some, it was a celebration of something. Almost every day, guests celebrated birthdays, anniversaries, and honeymoons. I'm trying to say that no one considered this trip as a regular vacation getaway. Whoever I talked to, they said it was a lifetime trip, and I couldn't agree more. After marking all the continents on our Mother Earth, I must say that the world is actually not that big, and all borders are in our minds. I know it sounds cheesy and basic, but guys, dream big and work hard. As for me, I'm already planning another adventure. See you there!